Well, welcome. This is the first ever of our NECC It Again. My name is Jacob Van Ryn. I'm the commissioner of the New England Collegiate Conference, and we're trying something a little bit different today. We're reliving and rewatching some of our great championship events from the previous year. We're starting this one with our women's volleyball championship from Sunday, November the 10th. It was Eastern Nazarene College taking on New England College, top seed versus second seed, and what was an exciting match Sunday morning, as we mentioned, with a title at stake between two of the premier programs in the conference. My pleasure now to welcome in the head coach of the team, Coach Derek Schmitt, and student athletes Ruth Aguilar, Courtney McCarthy, and Jessica Caldwell.
Thanks for having us, Jacob. Appreciate it.
All right, we're going to take this into a Sunday morning right there in Quincy, Massachusetts, on the campus of Eastern Nazarene. The top-seeded Lions taking on the second-seeded Pilgrims of New England College. Guys, first of all, you lost in the championship a year prior. Had to feel like revenge, although a different opponent, obviously, but an opponent you're pretty familiar with. It was an exciting atmosphere and an exciting day. Certainly, Coach, I'll start with you.
Yeah, I mean, we were pretty fortunate because we played them the weekend before to close out the season, and we had to come back from being down 2-1 and 1-5, which got us home court advantage. And you know, we knew we let it get away from us the year before, and credit Southern Vermont for how they played that day. And, you know, we were just determined that we're going to let that happen again. And so, you know, definitely had a good familiarity with what they do. And, of course, they had the same advantage with us. But, you know, and I definitely think having played in this match the year before and in our preparation, you know, I think really comes out on this first set as we watch with just the difference in how well we played. And, you know, they struggled in that first set. So, you know, definitely, even though that we lost, I think we took advantage of that loss from the year before to be prepped for this one.
There is something to be said for playing in a championship and obviously getting that experience and then getting over the hump as you go forward. I'll ask the student athletes, what's going through your mind here? You're on campus, you're at your gym, a place where you were awesome all season long. Do we have jitters, excited? Courtney, I'll start with you.
There was definitely jitters. For me, I think something that was different, like this year, like you were saying the previous year, we lost in the finals. We'd almost not even made it to the finals this year because we almost lost, I don't know, like 2 days before to Mitchell, and they played great and everything, and there was definitely jitters going into this match, but we knew after almost losing a few days prior that, like, we needed this. Like, it was our turn to win.
All right, Ruth and Jessica, obviously terrific seasons. You talk about, I'm glad that Courtney brought up the 5-setter in the semifinals against a very dangerous, very talented Mitchell team. Now you're back at home, obviously, in the conference championship. And obviously you get off to a terrific start here in the first set as you really took a hold of this match in the early stages.
Yeah, it was definitely like exciting to be there. Like a championship game, there's just like something different about it. Like there's so many people in the stands and it's just like very like intense. So I think from the start, we kind of just knew what we had to do, and we started off pretty strong. So
see some good defense there on the edge. Ruth, you did it all for this team in the championship, and certainly the run being named tournament MVP. We'll get into some of the more numbers, but talk about stepping up in that moment early on. You got off to a very good start as well.
Well, as Jesse said, I think that it all started even before the game. We were like really into it. Like even the night before we talked with coach, we talked to like in the team, and I don't know, I think we were pretty motivated of winning in our house. So that's what kept us like going throughout the game.
You can see in the top of your screen, obviously the Lions Den, which is what you guys being the Lions, it's been affectionately known as the Den, and the hashtag is Den Defended whenever you get a victory there. Talk about what it means to play at home, because that facility, that gym, low ceilings, it gets loud, and you guys have a really good base there. And, you know, Coach, I'll start with you, and then we'll talk to the student athletes.
Again, it was a great advantage for us to just be able to play at home, where we kind of could be in our normal routine. And, you know, we definitely, from the year before to this year, I tweaked some things and kind of how we approach going from Friday night into Sunday. But you know, got to be in their own beds and be with their friends and do whatever they felt they needed to do Saturday night to prep for this match. But you know, having that crowd there bring us energy, you know, because this was, even though this first set was, you know, pretty lopsided our way, they played a really good second set. The third set was tight, and our fans, and they did it, their fans were kind of sitting over on the right hand side of the screen there, and so they brought a good crew. So there was great energy in the building. But definitely our fans were really there to help carry us. But they were really big for us Friday night too when we really got battled by Mitchell. So it's just nice to play in the familiar setting of your own gym.
Student athletes, comment on, if you don't mind. Obviously, the group in the front there, decked out in the all white. You know, those guys were making noise throughout the course of the weekend. They were into it. You know, the score early on the first set, it's 5-3. As Coach mentioned, you go on to win this first set by a pretty convincing margin. But it had to be great to do this in front of your friends, and obviously that energy that they brought early on really set the table.
Yeah, those, I think I can like kind of see it from here, but I'm pretty sure it's mostly the men's volleyball team. One of the things that we're gifted with is having the programs be so close together, and like the guys come to our games, we go to their games and everything, and they're always so loud, and they obviously know what's going on because they're a volleyball team as well. And so they know exactly what's happening, like where weaknesses are, what we need to improve on, and they just cheer us up and hype us up the whole time.
And obviously, Coach Schmitt being the coach of both programs, there's obviously a natural relationship between the two there. All right, guys, let's talk about a little bit of the play. Obviously, you get off to a 6-3 advantage at this margin. You've run off 3 consecutive points. You get an ace there on the back line. You can see some of the smiles start lighting up there. Always feels good. But what, you know, and they forced the timeout from Coach Morrison there for NEC. When you get into a championship setting, we know it's heightened. We know the emotions are there, but it's got to feel really good. When you get off to that good start, you sort of get your feet underneath you and get rolling a little bit.
Yeah, you know, I think one of the surprising things you mentioned early on as we were watching this was talking about kind of making some nice defensive plays. And after the Friday night match against Mitchell, where Courtney took 70 swings and Ruth took 45, I think, and both middles took over 33. The last thing we wanted them to do on Saturday was jumping and using their arms at all. I mean, you would think before a championship match, you'd have this, like, you know, incredible practice plan. And it was literally, we're going to work on defense for about 10 minutes. We're going to do some serving and passing. We're going to work on defense. We're going to work no blocking, just floor defense. We're going to do some serving and passing. We did some more defense. We did some more serving and pass, and we were done. I mean, it was probably one of the easiest practices we've ever had. You know, the hitters didn't do any jumping and hitting. They maybe jump when they float serve. So defense was a big factor for us in this match here. You know, in this set here, they only get 1 kill, 2 kills maybe. And so our defense, and we blocked for the match. You know, even though we didn't work on blocking the day before, we had almost 3 blocks a set, and we averaged barely over 1%. So I think our defense was pretty big for us in this match early and throughout the match.
All right, Ruth, let me ask you, you get off to this start. Obviously, we see now the scores. We've sort of moved ahead here late into this first set. You're really rolling, and now it's, you know, you're looking at, you know, set point. You know, what's the mindset of this group right now when you get off to this massive advantage early on? You got to be feeling really good.
Well, I think that, like, we were playing point by point. We were not, like, thinking ahead, like, oh my gosh, like, we have to make, like, the 25 points, like, right now. We were like thinking like, okay, we're gonna be the first ones to 5 to 10 and so on and so forth. And I think that mindset really helped us like a lot, especially on that first set, because, you know.
Courtney, when you jump out and obviously take this first set by a pretty convincing margin, we're into the second set now, as you know, deadlocked, a set that they would ultimately win. But when you get that first set, it's got to feel really good about obviously best of 5. You get that first one under your belt, and really, you know, it's not a deciding factor, but obviously gives you a huge edge in terms of the outcome of the match.
Yeah, definitely. One of the big things in volleyball is to have energy, and when you win a first set 25-9, it definitely gives you a lot of energy. And they did a really good job coming back. Like, looking at the score right now, it's obviously 18-18. So they took a little bit of the energy, but it's kind of back and forth flow, and like our mindset is just, we got to keep heads up, keep our energy up regardless of the score, and just play how we know how to play.
Jessica, let me ask you, what's the difference for them in the second set? Obviously, they come back. You dominated the first set of action. What turned the tide for them in set number 2?
I'm not sure. I think we made a little bit more mistakes this game, so like they must have pushed ahead a little bit. They definitely wanted it. They wanted to come back and say that, no, you winning 25-9 isn't gonna say that you won the game. They definitely wanted it. So
Yeah, they had 2 kills that first set. They had 16 kills in the second set, so they executed a lot better. And we didn't make as many plays defensively. And we knew it was that 25-9 was great, but we knew it wasn't going to be like that all afternoon. We were going to have to work to win this thing.
Coach, you played them early, as you mentioned, about a week prior up at their place in a really exciting, high-level match, obviously a fun environment up there at their tight gym. You talked about there being no secrets. As a coach, advantage, disadvantage, how do you use that knowing that, hey, everything, personnel, any sort of rotation, they're probably on top of it and vice versa as well?
Yeah, I mean, it's just, I'm sure they felt pretty good about what they knew about us. I mean, we pretty much had used this lineup from mid to late September, the rest of the season. So, we weren't doing anything different, and, they weren't doing too much different from what we saw throughout the season. And again, when we played them. So, we can have all the game plans in the world, but one thing I've learned is it's not about the X's and the O's, it's about the Jimmies and the Joes. And so I can give them the greatest game plan in the world, but it doesn't matter if the players don't execute, and they executed it really well.
It's a pretty good correlation between good players and good success for coaches, as any coach will tell you. Ladies, you're kind of joking and laughing during that last play. Obviously, you look up on the scoreboard, you're down 21-19. What's going through your mind here as the second set wears on? Obviously, some bodies hitting the deck there, and to no avail.
Yeah. That was between me and Ruth. So.
I thought Jessie was going to get it, so then she thought I was going to get it. It was just.
Yeah, and then I was like, oh, shoot, I should probably try to get that, and then just wasn't even close at that time.
Guys, you're down 2 in the second set. Timeout. Coach has used a timeout here. They've turned the tables. Obviously, have the momentum. When you're in this nip and tuck back and forth, second set obviously very close throughout. Is this a point-by-point mentality, or are we thinking like, hey, we need to make a little push here as we get inch closer to 25? Courtney, if you don't mind, I'll start with you.
Yeah. So when it's tight like this, like, your instinct is naturally like to get a little bit nervous, but for us it's kind of about like trying not to be nervous, because the first set does matter even though it's over. Like, we won a first set 9-25, and like we know in the back of our heads like we just have to play how we're gonna play, and we know that like at a certain point, like, it's us making a mistake or a great play, or them making a mistake or a great play. So we just have to have confidence in our players and just know that like the outcome is like as much as we put into it. And so we just need to put in as much as we can. And I don't think this is that we lost, correct?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So this one, like, we just let a little too many points not go our way, make silly mistakes, things like that. But you can't let it affect you for the rest of the game as well.
Yeah, and that's an interesting point. You see a heading error there called against your group as they, get closer to this the second set win. Coach, I'm laughing at you. Some of the frustration on the sideline. What's going through your mind, knowing that this is not the group you saw, take the floor earlier this Sunday morning?
You can see, we got the last one actually was a double on few on that day, but did a great job setting. Other than most things, confused happen, and pass, kind of off, way off the net there. That fortunate to win that point, but. We just didn't quite execute well enough to win that game. And like I said, I knew they were going to play better. And, again, for them to get 16 kills, after only getting 2 and 16 kills and 25 points, every coach in the country of every level would take that. So, we had to try and find a way to slow them down. So give them the credit for winning that set. And now it's a ball game. It's 1-1. And, I'm obviously thinking about what am I going to say going into set 3. And, in this situation, set 3 is huge. Whoever gets this one has the first chance to close it out. And so we knew this next set was going to be big.
Yeah, you'll run off a couple points here. Obviously, the comeback attempt comes up short there as you see that hit attempt go wide, cross court. Coach, if you don't mind, in this situation, you see the momentum's turned a little bit. What's going through your mind, sensing that, all right, second set doesn't go our way? You talked about, beginning to think in the back of your mind, it'd be nice to erase this deficit, probably not all that likely. And you start prepping your group for that message, knowing that huge third set is coming up. So what's going through your mind in terms of a coaching strategy, all those things that you work with your assistants and beyond?
Yeah, I mean, even though this game, doesn't go our way, I want to win every point possible so that we have some kind of momentum going into the next set instead of letting them close it on a big run. We kind of hung in there. They pulled away a little bit. We kind of sided out back and forth the last 4 or 5 points. So, I'm still confident in the group going out there, and we just kind of reset, and the score goes back to 0-0. And as Ruth brought up earlier, we preach a lot about playing shorter games. It's a long ways to get to 25, but we want to be the first one to 5. We want to be the first one to 10 to 15 to 20. And if we keep doing that, we like our chances of getting to 25 first. So, I know we get off to a great start in this set as well. So, just it's time to reset and have that confidence of, why we're the number 1 seed, the team that won that first set, and just get back to doing what we do.
Ruth, Jesse, obviously, as this third set gets underway, you get off to a good start, as Coach mentioned. What was the message, internally with the student athletes there, knowing that this third set was obviously going to be huge to deciding the outcome of the match?
Well, I think that especially in this third set, we really listened to our coaches and what we had to do. And I don't know, I think that's exactly what we did. We execute the plan, especially in this third set. And that's how it was a really tough one, but still we got the chance to win it.
Ruth, we just saw an outstanding kill by you there and a very tough shot, cutting that over the net. You finished with 20 kills in this championship, 14 assists, 9 digs. Unreal effort for you, obviously named tournament MVP. You were the conference player of the year. Your second year of the program, I want to ask you, you had to feel pretty confident about yourself coming in and what you could do, but just 2 years in, is this surpassed even maybe your expectations of where you've gotten to in terms of your success?
Definitely. I remember this match. Well, like we said before, we lost the championship last year, and I think that's the number one thing that motivated me to just give it all in this one, because I don't know, I wanted to feel I wanted to win in our gym. So I think that's really what motivated us all as well.
And Courtney, let me turn it over to you as you see a ball fall on the Pilgrim side of the net there. You get off to this good start as we talk about. It's obviously your senior year. This is it. This is your last chance in an outstanding 4-year career. 2-time all first team selection in conference action, whatnot. But what does it mean as you're thinking about, I'd really like to cap it off with a title and a pretty nice ring as well?
This whole match, the year before, we were just so close, and going into my senior year, I was yeah, it would have been great to win last year, but winning your senior year, that was such fuel to me, and I was trying to spread that to everyone else too. We had another senior on the team as well, but just winning your senior year is something different after being so close the year before. And I was so grateful to have the whole team behind me and everything, and everyone helped out so much with practices and everything, and it was an amazing year for me being a senior too.
Coach, you see the score being 4-2 here, playing pretty solid volleyball early on in this set. What's your thinking here? You're pretty happy with the way your group is trending right now?
Yeah, like I said, the second set, doesn't go our way, but I still felt confident in the players that were going out on the court to play, and we just had to get back to executing at a higher level than we did, and hope that kind of count on the fact they weren't going to get 16 kills in a set again, and we need to play better defense against them, and we can perform better, and so we just really tried to put some pressure on them with our blocking, with our offense, try to take advantage of free balls like that, and so you can kind of see we're kind of dictating that point. They're having to free ball it over to us, and then we're getting swings back at them. So I'm feeling good. I know she went through 2 timeouts pretty quick in this set to try and slow our momentum, so I think she could kind of feel it, shift pretty much in our favor, just like that first set. Didn't want to see that same thing happen again.
Yeah, and a great bounce back by your group. Obviously, you lose that tough second set, and all of a sudden you erase that, quickly have to turn the page and look forward to set number 3, because how huge that's going to be. Just if I can ask you, member of the all-tournament team, local product, a native of Quincy right there. You grew up in this neighborhood, this community, this campus. It's got to be pretty special to you to represent, not only your school, but obviously your community and your town in this conference championship. And feels pretty good right now, leading 6-2 in the third.
Yeah, definitely. Like we said about the fans, we have a lot in the middle there, but the top left corner, I think that my friends, cousins, family, everyone came and like was there to support everyone on the team. And my family knows a lot of girls on the team. Like we have them over sometimes, and it's just great. I'm so glad I have them like so close and able to come and support us.
That's awesome, and a testament to you, Coach, the family atmosphere you've really promoted there during this as your return. Obviously, a 95 alum of the NC, and now what you've done there with that program has been awesome to witness, obviously. And let's turn our attention a little bit to the action here. You see Ruth there on the top side of your screen. Ruth was outstanding throughout. Obviously, Courtney named the all-tournament team as well. I don't want to take away from her success. She had 12 kills in this championship, but certainly. Ruth and Courtney, walk us through the efforts, and you see the outstanding dig there on the back line. Walk us through what's going on in terms of how you're feeling as this third set goes on.
Well, I think between me and Courtney, we have like a really good connection. So like, if I need to tell her like, okay, Courtney, like these 20 sets are going to you, and like I want at least like 10 points or whatever. She's like, okay, yeah, and like it just works really well because we communicate really well between each other. So I think that's key.
And it's obviously nice to have multiple weapons, which your group has. You don't have to rely on one consistent outside or something of that nature. You have a lot of balance and up the middle as well. Coach, you talked about it earlier. Your offense has gotten a lot of the accolades with whatnot, but I thought your defense as this match wore on was really steady throughout, especially up the middle against Tahani, who's an outstanding player. You really began to frustrate her as the match went on and really take her out of her game, and they had to call upon some different players. And your defense, obviously, you see here with this 5-point advantage, make it 6 now here early in the third set. But talk about their effort. I thought they were dynamic.
That's a heck of a point right there. In preparation for this, I watched the video, and that point right there, was just we just dug balls all over the place, got some good swings, get them in trouble, and eventually just waited it out until they made an error. So, definitely, like I said, we worked solely pretty much on our defense the day before to just try and defend them the best we could, and I think we did a pretty good job of that in the 3 sets that we did win. Because they have some good hitters on their side too that we knew we had to try and defend and slow down and not let them go off. And they did, like I said, had a great second set, but we kind of definitely turned it here. And the set, after that big lead of I think 8-2, you can see it's gotten a little bit closer. And actually, we'll get a little bit closer. That's a great swing right there from Thorne. They just get a good dig. Some good volleyball that day.
No doubt about it. You're right. It was 8-2, and obviously you guys just basically exchanged the next 30 points. It was 15 apiece. As we move forward here into the third set, you inch closer to the finish line, and you've already talked about how important this third set is. There's probably some sort of mathematical study that you might know. It's like 90% of teams that win that third set go on to win the match when you're tied at 1 apiece. So, let me ask you, Courtney, the importance of what these next 2 points mean in getting to the finish line. And to their credit, they go on a little bit of a run here. They get a little ball over the net there, a little luck, but they do go on a run here and make this third set very close late.
Yeah, going back to the semifinal match again with Mitchell, like that was a 5-setter, and the 5th set, like I believe we were tied, and then we went on to win the next couple of points. But it's like the same thing. Like once you're like so close, like points, every point's important, but points like this feel more important because the stat about the third set is like very important, and we didn't want them to have that advantage to us, especially in our house. That's something that we take a lot of pride in too.
Coach, you've used a timeout here with them, running off a couple of points consecutively here. What's the message to your group, if you don't mind sharing with us? What's going on through your mind?
Obviously we got to side out. A lot of times when we take timeouts, it's just hoping to kind of get them out of rhythm, get their server to miss, give us a chance to get a breather. We'll set up a play. We know if we get one side out, we're 1 point away and we're in pretty good shape still. So, but we just need to try and stop their run because again, they're trying to get momentum. Whether or not they win this set, they may not, but if they can get some momentum and close out on a 6-2 run or something, then that may, play into the 4th set to start it off. We may find ourselves down a little bit. So we just wanted to squash their momentum, get to 24, and then, try to close this thing out before I got any closer. So I think they still get another point here out of the timeout before we finally side out. So
yeah, let's just watch the final moments of this third set, if you guys don't mind. Obviously, Jessica, maybe I'll go to you as we look forward here. If you don't mind, I'll turn over to an expert here, obviously like you, and you come out of the timeout. You're close, you have the advantage, but you can sense a little bit of momentum back with the visitors here. So if you don't mind, walk us through the next couple points and watch this with us and what's going on as they continue to try to push forward.
Sure. I know, like, as a passer and serve receive, all I'm thinking is, what am I going to do if the ball's coming to me? So I'm like, all right, I'm ready for the serve. I'm ready for the serve. And if it doesn't come to me, like, oh, well, that's fine. Like, just be ready. Like, as long as you're in the right mindset. And same thing with all the passers and the setters and the hitters. Like, what am I going to do if the ball's over here? I got to hit it like down line or something like that. So I think that's kind of what we're going through. I know Jackie Teed right there, she, throughout the whole game, the whole motto was all in. So, like, every second, like, she had a second to breathe. She'd just be like, hey, you're all in, right? And I'm like, yeah, I'm all in. Let's go. Let's do this. So it's just being in the right mindset, I think.
You see a free ball go over the net, and, that goes down. And that was a huge turning point right there. Obviously, you turn this into set point. But, Coach, obviously big moment. They're capitalizing on that big swing.
Yeah, no, that was, again, the libero made a good dig, just a little bit too long. And, Thorne capitalized on that. That's something that, I know during the season, sometimes we didn't take advantage of those those overpasses. And, I'm pretty sure somewhere towards the end of the season, we just tossed the balls over the net and just had them work on two-hand pushing into a corner, taking swings on them. And Thorne hit that thing straight down to get us that big 24th point.
I'm just going to let this one breathe because this is set point here. And we'll let it play out. Spoiler alert, ENC is going to win this third set en route to a championship. And that's why, these four are with us today, and it's great to be with them. And look at the atmosphere, look at the environment there. You see the bench is fired up, and, that was one of the louder moments probably of the match because everybody knew what was at stake there. And Ruth, I could see you there screaming to the sky a little bit like, all right, now we're sensing it. You knew how big that moment was, winning in that point to take the third set.
Yeah, I think that's my favorite point out of, like, besides the match point, I think that's my favorite one. It's just so good.
That's your favorite thing to do, too. The ball comes over the net and you're like, nope, take it back.
Yeah.
Jacob, as we head into the fourth set, I'm always pretty, in the back of my mind, I'm aware of what has happened in the history. And even going back to when we won at their place the week before, in the fifth set, we got out to a 6-0 lead, which is the same thing Southern Vermont did to us. And then they got like 3 points in a row, and I'm like, oh my gosh, it's going to happen again. And, fortunately, we came out, we played, and we ended up winning that. But at New England College, the team that started on their home bench side won all 5 sets. I had told Courtney, which was something I never do going into the fifth set, if it comes down to it, choose side and take that side so we can get off to a good start. It's not like playing on the beach where you don't have the sun in your eye, the wind's blowing a certain direction, but that's just the way it was working out. And then you come to this match, and the team on our side where we start won the first 3 sets. And I remember going over for that fourth set and said, that's not happening. We're going to stop that streak right now, and we're going to win over on this side that no one's been able to do. And so that was kind of, again, I don't think that does anything to motivate them, but it's just, hey, we gotta switch this up and not let this thing get to a fifth set.
I love that insight, and I love that thought process, obviously. And, you obviously get off to a terrific 3-0 start. You force them to use an early timeout. We move forward here, and you're now leading at 19-11 in the fourth. As you get off to a good start, you sort of continue that momentum, and you have them at arm's length. And, man, it's got to feel good so that the pressure isn't upon you. As Coach talked about, you don't have to worry about that fourth set. You have a little bit of a working margin so that hey, if I don't swing perfectly, if I don't receive perfectly, it's not the end of the world. We have a little bit of working margin. Courtney, as you're walking us through this fourth set, getting closer and closer to a championship, it's got to feel nice to have that cushion to work with from your perspective as a student athlete.
Yeah, it's definitely nice to have the cushion, but like what Coach was saying with the sets and everything, like we're just like, we can't let them have another set because that's too close for us. Like, we wanted that cushion and everything. And I think like this set, because right now the score is 20-12, like we had to like remind ourselves, like, calm down, like you need to breathe. Like we still could lose. Like it's not guaranteed at any point during the game. You're not guaranteed to win. You have to work for every single point. It was just like reminding ourselves, like, until it's 25 to whatever, like we haven't won anything yet.
Derek, how proud were you of them in coming out and seizing momentum of this fourth set? And again, that ability to keep them at arm's length a little bit so that even if they did make a good swing or, you know, an unforced error for your side, you were able to bounce back. You see, like right there, hey, that's a tough one right there, tough receive on the serve. But at the end of the day, you still have a 6-point advantage here in this set.
Yeah. Yeah, super proud of him. I mean, I still I get goosebumps watching this. I have a little allergies going on in my eyes right now as I watch this. But just super proud of just how the level they played at. And the thing is, they kind of played like this the whole year, especially in big moments. I mean, we were, I think, either 4-0 or 5-0 in 5-set matches. We came back from down 0-2 twice. And so when the pressure was on, you know, they executed. And, you know, I kind of referred to it before. And, you know, we talk a lot about, you know, to me, the phrase I hate hearing is that, you know, we won because we wanted it more. Now, New England College wanted it pretty bad too. We just executed better through the whole match. And, you know, I don't, you know, maybe we executed better because we wanted it more, but I'm sure they came down there wanting to win a championship really, really bad. But we talk about the fact that that doesn't really matter. What matters is that you execute. And I just thought we did really good job executing in the 3 sets that we won.
I'm gonna leave it to the senior to sort of cap us off here. So I'll start here. You know, with Ruth and Jesse, as you get closer here, you see 22-15. You end up winning this 4th set, 25-16. What's going through your mind now as you start to see the finish line, saying, "Hey, we just need 1 or 2 more points." You see NEC get one there, but what's the mindset right now? As you're like, "Gosh, we're so close, we can taste it." You know, Ruth, if you don't mind, I'll start with you, and then we'll go to Jesse.
I was definitely pretty excited. I could like feel it, you know, like winning the set, but like still like reminding myself and like my teammates, like it's not over, like it ends at 25, like let's keep like working and pushing even harder these last 2 points. But yeah, it was definitely so exciting.
Yeah, definitely. Like kind of what Ruth and Courtney said it too. Like the game's not over till 25. So yeah, sure, we're up by 7 points, right? 7? Yeah, 7 points. But it's not over yet. So we have to keep pushing and just do what we know how to do.
All right, Courtney, I'll let you walk us through the last point here, and then I'll leave the final word for Coach here to wrap us up. Courtney, here we are. It's match point. It's obviously title point. Fans are on their feet. Walk us through this final point, if you don't mind.
Sure. So the ball got hit into the net, and obviously, like all of us were expecting it to come over, and so I think it was just so like relieving that just happened, because we were all hyped up and like it was just like, oh my gosh, like we finally did it. Like I said, like it just is unreal to like win a championship for the first time, and I don't even know how many years for this program, like especially your senior year, and to like leave the school with that and like leave such a good foundation for everyone else, and like have the players like want to come back next year and repeat, like regardless of who's on the team or anything like that too.
Yeah, I appreciate that sentiment. Coach, we'll talk more about this, I think, before we wrap this up, but this was a very emotional day for you, and I remember watching this and what it meant to you as you see the awesome celebration, you know, there in your home court, and the friends and family coming out there, and the celebration is obviously on. But if you don't mind, a little insight and a little, you know, what's going on in your mind right now as you watch this and celebrate with your student athletes and your assistant coaches?
I mean, there's a lot of emotion going on. I think one of them is relief because of what had happened the year before. And just, you know, really feeling like that was our time and we were ready for it. And again, Southern Vermont played better and beat us. And so it was just, one of it was just, hey, relief, you know, we got it done at home, but just super excitement for the fans, you know, for the student body, for the faculty staff that are there and people that support us, for parents that were there and family that were there. Obviously, number one was for the players. And, you know, I can brag on these guys. We could be on this call for another hour and I can brag on them of just how much fun they are to be in the gym with every day, for their work ethic, for how they get along with each other, for their drive, for their coachability. And so it all kind of came out right there. And, you know, just a great environment to win at home. Just so happy for the players.
That's really well said, and I really appreciate that. You see Ruth with the flag there, obviously a product of a native of Honduras. It's a special moment for you getting that, and now you see the final huddle, and that'll just basically wrap it up. Guys, first of all, I want to thank you for this, and then I want to say, if you don't mind, just one final thought that's going through your mind when you watch that back. Obviously, big smiles, but as you watch that back, what's the first thing that comes to mind? You know, I'll start with Jesse, go to Ruth, and then Courtney, and Coach, I'll let you cap it off here as we wrap this up, our first ever edition of this Watch It Again.
Well, after watching that, definitely makes me miss volleyball. I really miss playing. And another thing is that I want to do it again. So I can't wait for next season, and I want to battle.
Yeah, same. Honestly, I've watched this match like, I don't know, like 10 times. It's just so exciting. And every time I just feel the same way, like so happy that like all the work like that we did throughout like 3 months, like our entire season, it paid off, honestly. That was the goal, and like we could like get it. So it was really good.
Courtney, winning a championship, obviously in your senior season, the smile is as big as the screen right now. And here we are, it's like 6 months later, something like that. But it had to feel really good.
Yeah, I can't even, it was unbelievable. Like, I might start crying, but just watching it back, like, it just makes it like all the more real. Like, every time you watch it back, like, I'm just so proud of everyone and like everything we did. That's all I'm going to say, so I don't start crying more.
That's awesome. I'll let your coach do that on your behalf. Coach, wrap this up for us if you don't mind. Obviously, a very special group, a special day. I would be remiss, and I want you to comment on this before we go. Your men's soccer team was in the championship of the NECC tournament that same day. And I've been in college athletics for longer than I'd like to admit. And you guys all going to their championship match and bringing the trophy and wearing the shirts and the celebration and the ovation that you got. I do want you to comment on that first, and then I'll ask you, if you don't mind, just some final thoughts on winning a title. Obviously, ENC, a place that's extremely special to you. You know, we talked about you being an alum and bringing a title back to campus. So first of all, you don't mind the championship trophy, making the trip up about an hour, and then watching the men's soccer team bring a title home later that day, and then obviously to wrap it up.
Yeah, I mean, you know, it was glad that there was some time spaced out between the two events. You know, there was a lot of picture taking and talking afterwards. We had a little time for ourselves down in the locker room to dance and jump around and scream and everything. But it was important to us. You know, the guys, before they left to go to Leslie for their championship match, the guys were in the gym rooting us on, and it was important for us. You know, I'm sure we all would have been liked to been out with our family or out together, or all of us together out celebrating and whatever, but it was important for us to go out there. It was cold. I don't know that you could know that we had our shirts on because we had layers and layers on over our shirts. But you know, it was important for us. We're a family, you know, we're a small college, as a lot of the schools are in the NECC. But it was important for us to be there to support them. And celebrate with them. And I mean, yeah, we were taking the banner and the trophy with us. That wasn't staying behind. I can tell you that was in my car. The trophy was there. I think they were both in my car with my assistants, and you know, they were going to make the trip up there. We were going to be loud for them, and even, you know, had a nice post match. I took my assistants to Ernesto's in the North End, and then some Mike's Pastry. So nice. You can't celebrate better than that.
Nice. All right, wrap it up for us. Good. Yeah, I mean, obviously a great day there. ANC to campus winning 2 titles in one day. Some awesome trophy moments and some awesome pictures with both teams celebrating on the field following their title. Coach, if you don't mind, just a final thought on what this means to bring a championship. Obviously, you talked about last year, not your time. You commented on earlier about, you know, getting to the championship, getting that experience, and then the ability to get over the hump and win a title for ENC and your school and your community.
Yeah, it meant a lot because ENC is my alma mater. Obviously, probably a big factor in why I'm back is to just be back and part of this school, and that, you know, I was there as a student, and I've been gone a long time, but came back, and you know, so it was exciting to win it for you know, your alma mater. Not a lot of coaches get to do that, and so that makes it special. But it's definitely, you know, it's all about the players. You know, I have a good staff. My daughter was on the bench there, so it was fun to win with her. And but in the end, it's about the players, and they bought in from day one of what we were trying to do. And it took us a little while to kind of figure things out, you know, when it came to our lineup and what we wanted to do. And you know, but they played well through the whole season, and you know, just give them all the credit for getting us to that moment. and getting a berth to the NCAA tournament's a big deal. And that was pretty cool to do that. That was the first NCAA tournament. We had been in the program a long time ago. Back when I was in college, was in the NAIA championship several times, but this was the first NCAA tournament berth for the school. So pretty excited that we got to do that, and just a great group to do that with.
Guys, I can't thank you enough for your time. Obviously, congratulations on the success, and this was a lot of fun. I appreciate it, and we look forward to doing more of these. Obviously, this is the first of a series, but you guys will always be the first, the guinea pigs. You did an outstanding job. I cannot thank you enough, and once again, congratulations on the title. This was terrific.
Thank you so much for doing this, Jacob. Appreciate it.
Bye, guys. Of course. Be well, be safe. Courtney, congratulations once again, and Jess and Ruth. Maybe we'll do this again a year from now. We'll see.
Hopefully.
Let's go.
Bye, guys. Have a great day.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye.